Are you the boss or a slave? How to reclaim your time and your money now. It's really common for people to feel restricted by their budget or by their calendar. By the end of this video, you'll be back in control of both of those. I've got 5 specific considerations for you to do just that. Here's the first consideration. Restricting versus harnessing. Think about the difference. What is a harness? For those of you who are familiar with horses, you know that a harness is used to channel or steer the energy of that animal. It's an apparatus that is strapped to the horse that doesn't take away its power. It doesn't restrict the horse. It simply steers that horse in the direction that is desired by the rider. Think for just a moment about the enormous power of time and money. What if we could harness that power and steer it in a direction that makes sense based on our intentions? That brings up consideration number 2. Think back to your childhood for a moment. I remember when I took my kids out for their first experience flying a kite. Have you done this before? When you're letting the kite go up, it's filled with the air and it's catching the wind and it's elevating very nicely. When you cut the string, it no longer has the resistance of that string against it, and the kite simply goes limp in the sky and begins to descend, and sometimes will even crash or spin out as it falls to the earth. It has to have the string to provide the resistance that's necessary for it to actually get the elevation. The string helps keep the kite up. It doesn't hold it down. That's something that I got to learn as a child as well, but when my kids were playing with these kites, I had a nice little review of that lesson. Think about the kite for a minute. Now, what does that have to do with your time or with your money? We have to attach some kind of string to it in order for it to rise. Think about that consideration. Here's consideration number 3, and this is true of both time and money. You have to spend it. You have to spend it. Now, you might feel a little resistance on the money part. Well, I don't have to spend my money. I could just put it away. When I say spend it, I mean do something with it. Because you could just stuff it under the mattress, or you could dig a hole in the backyard and put it in there. That, to me, is spending it in some way. It's putting it to some use or doing something with it. So it doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to go to the store and spend it on something. You have to do something with it. Look at time for a moment. You have to spend it. You can't choose this morning, oh, I'm not going to spend any time today. Yes, you will. In fact, how much of it will you spend? All of it. All of it. Connect with that for just a minute. What if we were to look at time and money in a similar way? Understanding that we have to spend it all, but let's go to a mindset of abundance here too, okay? So what if I were to give you $1 million? Okay, do you like this game already? But there's a catch. You have to spend it all today. Okay, you're still in? You're like, yeah, let's do that. Now, if you don't spend it, you lose it. Okay, but don't worry. I'll give you another $1 million tomorrow. This game's getting even better, isn't it? But the catch is you have to spend it all tomorrow. That's exactly what's happening with time. Just switch out the $1 million for 24 hours. I'm going to give you 24 hours. But the catch is you have to spend it all today. Do you see how that works? Now, if you don't use it, you lose it. But don't worry, I'll give you another 24 hours tomorrow. And the catch is you have to spend it all tomorrow. Put this into your mind somewhere, that you have to spend it. And even your money, you have to do something with it. That makes it even more important to become intentional about how we spend it or what we spend it on. What we do with it. That's the question. Now, I have two more specific considerations for your budget and for your calendar, but before I get to that, would you just take a moment to subscribe to this channel? I promise to bring additional videos that will add value to your life. Show up, subscribe, hit the notification bell too, and then you won't miss any of them. Here's the fourth consideration, and this has to do specifically with your budget. I want to make you the boss instead of the slave. Okay, your money works for you, not the other way around. Robert Kiyosaki teaches this, that there's a time in our life where we work for money, but we want to get to a place where our money works for us. How would you like to be the boss of your money? So when it comes to your budget, consider this. You get to boss every dollar, every cent around. You get to be the boss. You get to tell it what to go do. You get to assign whatever job you choose to every dollar. I say dollars because I live in the United States of America and that's our currency here. But you can substitute whatever your currency is. Whenever I say dollar, you just hear whatever yours is. Every dollar gets a job and you get to decide what that job is. How does that feel? See, sometimes when we think of a budget as restricting me, that I can't spend money on this or that, well, who do you think the boss is? I had just a moment with this a couple of weeks ago. I was on the road, traveling, speaking, and I had a few tasks that I was trying to get done for a project that was going on back at home. And I remember texting Vicky feeling all frustrated. I'm tired from what I'm doing and I still have to do this thing that I haven't done yet. And then it dawned on me. I'm the boss. I get to choose. Who's in charge here anyway? Do you see that? This is how your budget is. If you're feeling restricted by your budget, you forgot who the boss was. You get to boss every dollar around. So when a dollar comes in, you get to say, okay, you go do that. And you might tell this dollar, go pay my rent because I don't want to be homeless. Will you please go do that for me? And that dollar's like, aye, aye, Captain. I'll do it. You're the boss. And then you pick another dollar and you say, you get to buy me groceries. Go do that. Now that dollar's not going to go pay the rent because its job is to go buy groceries. This is how a budget works. What if you want to do something that you don't have a dollar assigned to? Well, then you get to look at the dollars that are assigned to other jobs and decide whether you can pull them off of this job to put them on that job. You're still the boss. This is probably the most powerful thing that you can do to transform your mindset around your budget. You're the boss. Boss around your money. That's what a budget is. Now let's go to the calendar. This is the last consideration I'll share with you on today's video, and it has to do with your time. There's only one time you can do anything, and it's now. Connect to that for just a minute. I don't mean right now, because right now you're watching this video with me. Right now, I'm spending this time with you. But now can be defined as a start time, an end time, and a very specific task in between. So remember, we're talking about bossing around your dollars on the budget side. You're going to boss around your nows on the calendar side. Who's in charge of how you spend your time? You are. Now, you might pick a whole bunch of those hours and say, okay, these 8 hours, your job is to go to work. Okay, if you've got a job, you probably want to allocate some time on your calendar to do that. It doesn't mean you have to go to work, because what would happen if you didn't? I like to play these mind games as a psychologist. It's kind of fun. When you think, but I have to go to work, I want you to just ask, well, what would happen if I didn't? Because that sends your mind in a different direction. It's like, oh, well, I'd get fired probably. Yeah, probably. So you might choose to go to work because you prefer the outcome of retaining your job and having a paycheck to being fired and out of work. So just notice, it's not that you have to do anything. It's that you're choosing to do certain things. You get to boss around your time. Go back to the idea of now. The only time you can do anything is now. If you doubt that, just check what time it is when you're doing something, and it's now. You can't do something in the future. How would you do that? You can't do something in the past. That's already gone. The only time you can do anything is now. So we define a now by start time, end time. That's where your calendar comes in. And a very specific task in between. Let me just comment about that, because sometimes people say, well, I'm going to do this thing, and they'll even give a start time for it, but they don't give an end time. And that's like consigning your mind to a state of endless misery because there's no foreseeable exit. Give it an end time. This is brain friendly. It will allow your mind to stay more focused on what it is you're doing during that now. Start time, end time, specific task in between. Yeah, but Dr. Paul, what if I don't finish? No problem, because you get a fresh 24 tomorrow, and you have to spend every hour of every day. So choose how you're going to spend it. And if you don't finish that task during your now, set another now. And stop telling yourself, I'll do it someday. Pick a day on your calendar. Pick a start time. Pick an end time. Do that specific task in between. This is how you start to boss around your hours. Let's get them working for you instead of the other way around. Are you feeling it? I hope you found that helpful. If you're ready for more, cue up that next video about how to reprogram your mind to stay strong and positive. I think you're going to like that one as well.